The only way I got through the zoo area in Lies of P DLC without quitting was this. Stop trying to play it like a normal Souls level. Slow everything down and treat every encounter like a mini-boss instead of a trash fight. Because the moment I rushed, even a little, the zoo punished me harder than anything else in the game. I went into the zoo area in DLC feeling confident. I had already beaten the base game for a couple of times. I knew the mechanics. I thought I understood Lies of P. Then I bought Lies of P DLC. And after this area was opened in Chapter 9, I went into the zoo, and suddenly I was overwhelmed by monkeys, kicked across the map by kangaroos, chased by wolves, and completely destroyed by a zombie crocodile that made me seriously think about my skill level. The zoo area from Lies of P DLC isn't just difficult, it completely changed how the game expected me to play, and if you didn't adapt, it definitely would break you. The first thing that hit me wasn't even a boss, it was the relentless pressure. I stepped forward, there was a monkey. I dodged, there was a wolf. I tried to heal, something is already mid-attack. At one point I realized I wasn't fighting enemies, I was just trying to survive long enough to think. And that is the real trick of this area. It overwhelmed me by decision-making, not just my health bar. The enemies aren't individually impossible, but together they create chaos. And that chaos is what made me almost quit right there, because it isn't just hard, it's mentally draining. Let's talk about the enemies. Because the zoo doesn't just increase difficulty, it changes enemy behavior in a way that feels unfair at first. The kangaroos, they don't stop attacking. They kick, they chain attacks, they feel like they have hyper armor. The monkeys, fast, erratic, unpredictable. The wolves, close distance instantly. To be honest, I hate such fast dog-like style enemies in all games. And then there is a feeling that I couldn't quite explain at first. Why do these enemies feel stronger than they should have been? I strongly believe now that they are designed to break the habits. The lesson I've learned is that zoo area punishes perfect play and rewards survival instincts. And that is a huge shift. And then finally I've reached the zombie crocodile boss. The one that made me stop and think, am I actually enjoying this? This fight is where frustration peaks, not just for me, but clearly for a lot of players. And it's not just difficulty. It is how the difficulty is delivered. The camera struggles, the area feels tight, the attacks cover huge space, the timing feels awkward. At one point I genuinely thought, this might be the moment I quit DLC and will go farm some additional ergo. Around 10-15 tries till I realized this fight isn't asking me to master it, it is asking me to survive it. Once I stopped trying to perfect the fight and focused on staying close, dodging instead of parrying, using throwables properly, it finally clicked. Not easy, not cleanly, but it worked. This is a part I didn't understand at first. I kept trying to beat the zoo the same way I beat everything else in Lies of P, and it kept failing. Now I think that the zoo area is designed to do one thing – force adaptation. The advice, at least for me, in order to pass through this area is next. Don't try to parry, just dodge. Use fire, it melts enemies. Respect your build if needed. That is not normal for most Lies of P areas. Most of the game lets you succeed with your preferred style. The zoo doesn't. It says either you change or you will suffer. That is where frustration comes from, because it feels like the game is suddenly saying, you've been playing wrong the whole time, even if you haven't. At first I thought that this is a bad design. Too many enemies, too much pressure, too chaotic. But after pushing through, I don't think the zoo area in Lies of P is unfair. I think it's intentionally uncomfortable. The zoo strips away your confidence, your rhythm, the sense of control, and replaces it with pressure, chaos and adaptation. That is why some players hate it, but it's also why others say, once I got through it, it was worth it, because it forces growth. Not the satisfying kind, the frustrating kind. So yeah, the zoo area from Lies of P DLC almost made me quit. Not because it was the hardest part of the game. The moment I stopped trying to dominate it and started treating every fight like a survival, that is when everything changed. So slow down, respect your enemy, adapt your playstyle, and that is a real way to pass through the zoo. Thanks for watching, hit that like button and subscribe for more Lies of P and other Souls-like video games videos, and stay sharp out there.